Hello, this is a review for the Huion h610pro version 2. So here it is. It's currently for sale just under £52. It's a good price, I would say. That's the price from GearBest at the moment. The links are in the description. That's also the best price I've seen, but it is also an affiliated link, so you will be supporting me if you click on that link. Now, it's got all the usual stuff for a graphics tablet of this size. So it's got over 8,000 levels of pressure sensitivity. It's got a pen, which is wireless, which is very nice. And I must say, these days I wouldn't go for a pen that has to be charged. It's more things to go wrong, and it's just really awkward. And generally speaking, graphics tablets from the £30 to £50 range, you should be getting a wireless pen these days. As I've said, I've been using it, and you can see some of that footage here. It feels really comfy, it's really nice. I didn't have any issues installing the drivers. I did have to restart my machine twice. I suppose that might be an issue for some, but I didn't see it as a problem, just as long as it all works and nice and smoothly. I didn't find any wobble or jitter in the pen. It was all very responsive and there were no glitches. It was a very comfortable experience to use. Now, if I were to compare this to the XP Pen or the Veikk or the UG, it feels just as comfortable, just as responsive as any of those that I've tried. I must admit I'm going slightly off the XP Pen. I'm using that more and more. I'm finding the pen nib a bit squidgy, and we're getting a lot of glitches with the drivers recently, but that's on a Mac, and I haven't tried it recently on a PC, so there may be just some issues there. I use them at work, but we have lots of different graphics tablet drivers installed, so that might be causing an issue as well. But generally I just find this a bit more comfortable. I found this and the Veikk more comfortable to use. I think that's probably just a preference thing because of the pen squidginess. I'm very used to a Wacom, and this seems more like a Wacom to me. As well as these two things, it comes with a pen holder with lots of nibs inside and a USB cable, what you'd expect. What I am finding is that the Huion seem to be very sturdy. Now, that might be one advantage over the other brands. That's one thing I can't test because I won't use this over a long period of time. I'll just go back to my Wacom because it's a display tablet and it's really nice. But I've heard good reports about Huion and their build quality, and it does feel quite sturdy. It definitely feels that bit sturdier than other ones in its price range. The other really interesting thing is that it comes with the tilt function. And generally speaking, I haven't seen that for this sort of price range of graphics tablet. Now, this isn't something I'd worry about too much, but it is quite a nice feature. In something like Photoshop, you can actually program your brushes so that the tilt affects the brushes in different ways. It's not something I've ever really used, but I was practicing in Photoshop, having a bit of fun, and it is quite a nice feature. I'm not sure how much I'd care about it, and I'm not sure if I'd go out and buy this particular graphics tablet just for that reason. But like I say, that is something that this has over the other brands for similar prices. So are there any drawbacks compared to the other ones? Well, the Veikk A50 apparently has a quicker response time, but I couldn't really tell the difference when using it. The Veikk and the XP Pen have programmable buttons along the side. Now, generally speaking, if I'm using a graphics tablet, I'll be using a keyboard as well, so I won't really worry about the buttons. But if you do use the buttons regularly, let's say you can't get to the keyboard because you've got a short desk space, then you might be using the buttons down the side, and therefore I wouldn't suggest this over the other ones, because I would certainly want to be programming the buttons if I didn't have a keyboard. You can program the pen buttons though, and I would say that's an absolute must. Particularly in Blender, you'll be wanting to use the button for middle click so you can move around your viewport. Now, if I were comparing this to maybe say a Wacom of similar size, the price difference is quite substantial. You're looking at over £100 for the Wacom, which is twice the price of this, and I would say it's difficult to argue for the Wacom in that case. Now, people do say about the build quality of Wacom that they will last a lifetime, and that's only something I've heard. I have heard good reports about the build quality of Huion, but perhaps that's something to bear in mind for you. What I would say is that perhaps a few years down the line you might be upgrading anyway. As the display tablets come down in price, you might want to go for one of those. It is a bit nicer using a display tablet, there's no doubt about it. It's just when you're moving your arm across the image or doing curves, it's quite difficult to judge on a graphics tablet whilst looking at the screen. And the display tablets, I've got to say, are getting better and better all the time. So in summary, which would I buy? The Veikk, the XP Pen, the Wacom, the Huion? I would probably say I'd go for the Huion just from the build quality point of view. I am disappointed in the programmable buttons that you can't program them, and if you want to use those and you've got a small desk, then I'd go for the Veikk A50 Also, if your budget extends to it, I would go for a display tablet, and I'll put links in the description to all these things. They are affiliated links, so you'll be supporting me if you click on them. I did like the tilt function, but it's not a game changer for me. But all in all, these tablets are much the same across the board. Like I say, make sure you go for a wireless pen these days, but don't be disappointed if you've just gone out and bought a Veikk, because they're good quality as well. But the one thing I keep coming back to is the build quality just seems that bit sturdier on this Huion. If you've got any thoughts, then comment below, or get across the Discord server and you can chat with people there and ask them their opinions. There's lots of beginners and intermediates on there. Some of them will have just bought graphics tablets, others will have had them for ages, and you can ask their opinions and get some feedback and see what they're saying, and perhaps get an idea of how well their graphics tablet is holding up to the rigors of everyday artistry. So I hope this review helps you make up your mind. Thanks for watching.